A man was begging on the street until a passerby suddenly snatched all his savings. Just as Mark worried about how he'd eat that day, Jessica walked over to comfort him. When she heard Mark had been robbed of $50, she generously pulled out $100 and gave it to him. Mark hugged Jessica gratefully, but as soon as she left, John returned to find him. It turned out they were accomplices, tricking people out of money by playing on their sympathy. Suddenly, John saw Jessica walking over with a policeman. He immediately stuffed all the money into Mark's hands and fled the scene in a hurry. Mark, however, became the scapegoat. 5 years later, Mark was released from prison, and John, dressed in a suit, came to meet him. Mark flew into a rage, grabbing John by the collar. It wasn't until John said, "I'm here to make amends," that Mark realized John was now extremely wealthy. Soon, the two arrived at John's villa, but Mark pulled a dagger out of his bag. Just then, John called out all his employees to celebrate Mark's release, but Mark saw this as an insult. He stormed out of the house in anger. Later, John found Mark again. He said, "I'm truly sorry for what I did before. I prepared a gift for you." But Mark, consumed by overwhelming anger, couldn't listen to a word John said. He stabbed the dagger straight into John's chest. John collapsed in front of him. As Mark was about to leave, John's secretary approached him with a document. It showed John had transferred all his property to Mark's name. Mark stared at the secretary in disbelief. Overwhelmed by regret, he dropped to his knees in agony.